Dar, man.
So setting up the
It's a
meeting.
nice map, though. I like it.
Wait, where's the map? Sorry.
Page 38.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Being sent to a third party. Got it.
We're streaming live on YouTube.
We're live.
yep, we're live.
Oh, good.
But Ivan's
not-
frozen.
Yes, and
Oh.
the funniest thing is I don't see us live on YouTube.
But
Yeah,
we are.
We
I
are.
see the last video we all watched, which we're not going to talk about.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, so here we are. There we are. Okay, we're live. Excellent. Cool. Yeah, no, I was saying, hey kids, I was seeing on my iPad like that. Here, all of a sudden, it's yes, it's being live streamed. Okay, yes, okay, I'm live streaming it. Man, this is getting cumbersome. Hi, we're here to play Dark Age of Man. We were going to start a little bit at 8:30, but we got a little sidetracked and some technical difficulties. But they're all done, I think. So we're going to play Dark Age of Man by Jason and Dell, and we've been looking forward to this for a little while. So I had the guys make some characters. I prepared a setup, and so we're gonna start everybody in a moment. Just to give you a little bit of history, share the content here. We're in England, not to be confused with another similarly named country.
I was gonna say, is it
Uh,
capital somewhere near London?
Exactly. And the characters start out in Dredgewater, in Dredgetown. I believe Dredgetown is the little castle near the top of this map. Dredgewater is just a miserable little fishing village. And about like 500 people or something like that, most of which don't actually live in this, area depicted by the map, but live in little farmsteads and homesteads and stuff around the area. And so the characters start there. But first, tell me who these characters are. We'll start with Brother Dunstan.
I will be playing Brother Dunstan, who is a monk whose monastery was destroyed. He is a scholar as a monk, right? So he has some knowledge of Roman culture, Latin, and other erudite subjects, I suppose. But his village, his monastery was actually burned down by a Northman raid. And so he is experiencing a crisis of faith and has turned away from his god and towards the dark arts, which he learned while copying forbidden texts. So I will be playing a scholar, wizardly character.
Excellent. All right. And Wolfherd of Northwich, that's such a oddly familiar sounding name, Jose. But anyhow, go on. Tell us about your surprising character.
Wolfherd is a young Saxon warrior from the northeast of England, from Northwich. And he recently wandered some time ago down into Dredgewater, looking for work as a man-at-arms, right? But so far, he's been working more he's been making his living as a hunter because there's no war or any levies going on right now. And profession is soldier.
Excellent. Excellent. And then Jarek Smith.
Yes, Jarek Smith is a priest. Kind of introducing how do I want to go with this. Kind of a priest of educated in many a religion, many a theology. His chosen is oh goodness, what would have been? My apologies, guys.
It's Catholicism in 7th
I was going to say,
century.
yeah, okay.
Or whatever
So
it is.
what primarily
Christianity
Catholicism for the time. And He's going around. He's from a family of blacksmith. But has stepped away from that to join the cloth and going around and spreading the word and helping where help is needed.
Right on. And interestingly, in this setting too, it's kind of like early Christianity. There's still all kinds of all the old folk beliefs are
Okay,
still, still present as well.
That's where I was getting kind of stuck, so I apologize.
No, that's right on, right on. It's kind of a sparse setting, but that's the basic feel I get from the text. And so, you know, you're probably not going to get Wolford burned at the stake as much as Brother Dunstan would, based on, because I mean, if you're just going to openly use sorcery, it is a good chance, even if the people aren't Christian, they might be a little bit, freaked out and scared. You know how superstitious people are, all that sort of stuff. So why do you three fellas know each other? Like, why are you working together? Because you're going to get getting approached by Sheriff Basil, who wants you to do something.
Feel like there is a punchline here.
No,
Soldier,
a priest,
soldier, a scholar, and a priest walk into a bar.
and they say, "Ouch."
Yep.
I'd say that at least, it sounds like Dunstan and Wolford aren't necessarily from this village, so they could have met at one of the taverns and struck up a friendship. As some of the these villages people, not most people are kind to strangers, but maybe Brother Jarek, because of his Christian faith, would have welcomed them.
Yeah.
And
kinda at the-
believe it or not, Wolfhard will go to church on Sundays.
Nice.
Right on.
He is a Christian, though.
So we maybe met on the road, right? So we're traveling
Yeah.
companions, and and so
Or the two strangers in the town tavern. It's natural they would have.
At the Black Leaf Tavern or the Golden Leaf Inn, one of those two things. All right. Sounds good. You good with that? Feeling all right? All right, cool. And we're going to be stopping a lot to talk about mechanics every once in a while because we're all new to this game, and I appear to be new to this iPad. trying wait a minute, let me get this. I'm trying to close one document, get another one because I don't have a printer at my house, so I'm doing all this stuff on this other iPad. All right, cool. So what I need to do also is roll 3d6 at this point because I need to consult my random chart here. There is an inciting incident.
The naive narrator.
But this will give me like a little bit more information about this inciting incident, and I created my random table here. The other thing worth mentioning is that you guys have attributes called body, mind, and spirit, prestige, and luck. And so these are the actual characteristics we'll look at. There's actually also purse and inventory, how many things you can carry, and then your combats. But you guys are, for the most part, going to be rolling d12s all the time. And I'm going to be rolling these 3d6 every once in a while, and when appropriate, to get something. There you go. To give me some more information about what happens. But essentially, it had been called by Sheriff Basil, approaching like Wolford and company, because there's been a few families and their livestock have been killed recently. The bodies, the livestock has been really savage. Now, he's coming up to tell you, like, I need you to find and kill this wolf, in the tavern. And, there's already, at least one person that's just saying, ain't no wolf did that. I'm seeing the bodies. But let's see. Here now. Holy mackerel. I thought for a second I rolled an 18. That would have been horrible. All right. And actually, what we hear at this point is, over at the Child's farm, like the cattle have all been slaughtered. I mean, just brutally. The Childs are still alive, but they went out into their, their pasture this morning, and the cattle have just been absolutely mangled, not eaten, but slaughtered.
Bane Raiders wouldn't have slaughtered cattle and not taken it, and they took nothing else from the farm. It was just the cattle that were attacked.
That's what I heard. I haven't been out there yet, but I figure I'd send you over there. Maybe you can find something out. I got too many other things to look after over here to be chasing down some damn wolves.
It's very strange.
Why
Wild
would-
animals would have eaten.
What creature of God would create this? What No.
Sometimes
the wolf eats to eat.
Could be a
Does not-
mad wolf.
Hmm?
Could be a mad wolf.
Well, a lone wolf that loses its mate, it can go mad, and sometimes they kill for pleasure. Those are the ones we need to put down.
Well then.
Whatever it is, the populace is getting scared. People are starting to like point fingers at each other. You know, it's crazy. People talking of sorcery, all this kind of stuff. Apparently, Sheriff Bassel is from Ireland originally. as his accent comes out.
We can't have that.
I know Palmero's already like pointing fingers this one and that one, talking about sorcery, talking about old fey ties, all this kind of nonsense. Just go find the wolf, kill it, bring it back here. Whatever it is, something else. Bear, boar, whatever it is. It's going to cause a panic.
Get it done.
I for one am intrigued. Certainly come along. Shall we?
I elbow Jared. Maybe they're just not saying their prayers.
You are quite literally preaching to the choir, Brother Warford.
Prayers alone will not save you from death.
Oh, Brother Dunstan, ye of little faith.
Unless you pray for a yard of steel at your side. Ha!
Tell it to my abbot and the rest of my brethren. But come, let us go see this
Indeed.
field.
All right, so the child's home farmstead is up in Northwood area. It's not. It's kind of adjacent to the Northwood. And you know, in this area, I mean, pretty much they're very creative with the names of the woods that kind of surround the areas. There's Northwood, Eastwood, Westwood. Then there's a river that's south. You know, they're not terribly creative. You know, these are simple people.
Hey, at least they're clear.
So it takes a while to get to, you don't have any horses or anything like that. So just, a trek down some lanes, and you get some basic directions to the child's farm homestead. Where basically about where it is, and it just abuts right up against Northwood. And as you finally are getting, you're across a bit of a hill, such as it is in this terrain, and it's like late spring, and you can see already like what looks like the cows might be lying down, but they're on their backs or on their sides, which is rather unusual to see that many. And the closer you get as you walk, you come upon a head. It's just a cow's head.
A cow's head. That was going to be my question.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a cow's head. It's a cow's head.
Okay, I'm gonna take a look to see if I can tell whether it was removed with something like an axe, or does it look like it was like claws? Take a look at these at the ruined beef. See if I can get an idea of what attacked them.
Let's see. Do we call this a task? Should you roll for this?
I believe so.
Let's see. But we're going to call this easy.
All right.
And we'll call it an idea roll.
And I can use mind for this, right? Because I'm
right. Yeah, mind roll.
All right, 11 total.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, this is not taken off with an axe. You as an experienced huntsman, you've seen animals ravaged by their other animals. You've seen, animals that are slaughtered.
Hmm.
This looks like none of these. This really looks like this head was like yanked off the cow's body. Like you can see that there's like the skin where it's been stretched and where it's been torn, and where there's parts of the sinew and what that are like as if you like tearing apart a joint or something like that, but a raw one. So it's just the tears are very uneven. There's a part of the cow's vertebrae, past the neck, that have like come out as well. But it appears to have just been torn off the body, like you might tear off. I'm trying to think what you'd be tearing off with that much ferocity.
This was no wolf, friends. Well, this was no wolf. I'm gonna take a look around for tracks if you want to start talking to the farmers, see what they heard.
Yes. See if there's only one beast or if this is a pack.
Gotcha. All right. Wolford, you can give me a roll for the it's going to be a moderate. Almost a 7
right.
for the tracks.
9.
And in the meantime, if you two want to go talk to the farmers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's taken a while. It's taken a while to like really look around.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to look at all the signs. Yeah, I'm gonna start, from the outside going in,
Right,
see
right.
anybody approaching. It doesn't look like a wolf to me, but
Okay. Okay, the child's family, the father is, is a little bit on the older side. Is like got to be in his early 40s.
man,
You
elderly.
know, yeah. And life brief, brutish, and nasty. And somewhat younger wife, a few young children, like a teenage son. They all look pretty shook up. And the father Willem is seems to be rather upset about like the loss of the cattle as well.
Good sir, we've been sent to investigate what has transpired here. Could you tell us if you saw anything or perhaps heard anything that might explain this carnage?
Didn't see nothing. I heard last night. Apparently, everybody's from Ireland. I heard last night around, I don't know, late, past midnight. It was a horrible, horrible sound. The cattle screaming and everything. And we went to go out there, grab a lantern, and my wife, stopped me. She said it was too horrible. So I looked out, see what I could see, but I couldn't see nothing. But I heard the terrible screaming and carrying on. Enough to frighten us all to death. The children were crying, screaming, tried to keep them quiet.
No wolf howls? Did you see some manner of beast upon the cattle? A large bear, perhaps?
I saw shadows. I don't know if it was the cows or what it was.
No howling at the moon?
Not that I know.
See. And
You
no
said
one was hurt
the wife
in the
and
house.
kids are still pretty disturbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna if you don't mind, sir, I'll take care of the missus and the children. We'll go off, and maybe I'll make a cup of tea, maybe to help calm their nerves, if that's all right with you, sir.
Give me a prestige roll.
A prestige roll. All right.
Social tasks. And we're just go average.
4.
Oh, he's not looking terribly. He's like, what do you mean? My wife and children, I could look after my own.
No ill will intended, my friend. Just trying to help and serve. If you would feel much comfortable them here, I would not I will not press further.
I don't know what I'm going to do about these cattle. If you can make more cattle appear out of thin air, that would be more helpful.
I will certainly pray for it, my friend.
Got a lot of good prayers will do us. So he seemed fairly distraught. Something, something about something about you.
Well, this is a lot of wealth for a farmer, right? Losing all these cows. This is like
Oh yeah.
Yeah, huge.
huge.
Yeah. In the meantime, Wilford, what you're finding are some signs. So it's really hard to tell because all hell broke loose here. So there's a lot of the ground that's been disturbed. There's nothing that looks like a wolf track or a bear or a boar or something like that. There are some smudged large tracks that you really can't identify. But they do seem to take off into Northwood. And, as you get farther and farther away from the epicenter of the carnage, it appears that whatever it was made its way into the wood.
And it's tracks like I've never seen before, right?
Yeah, they're just hard to identify. They're really rather smudged. Like they're not really very distinct.
Yeah.
They're big. They're a little uneven. Like you're used to, how the typical tracks that animals make, and these are just a little odd. They're just, not regular.
So whenever I'm done, I guess I join these guys at the house and say,
So I see you approach. I step out of the house. I don't wish the farmer to hear our conversation. Friend Wolfhard, what have you found? One beast or many?
I motioned them away from the house. I said, it looks to be, I only found one set of tracks that do not belong to these farmers. It's no wolf. It's no bear. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's big.
But it seems to be one then. No loose teeth, no loose hair, no sign of a beast
It was
other than the tracks.
yes, and it was a mess. The tracks are odd. They're not even. I don't know if it was carrying something away, but something large enough to carry a cow. Well, I can't help but think we had our village blacksmith in Northwich. He, forgive me, Father Jack, but he was a pagan. And he used to, winter nights, tell tales of trolls and giants. I don't know why I think of that.
Can you follow these tracks?
Yes, they head north.
We're not seriously considering following this unholy beast.
Well, I don't know what it is, but we won't get paid if we don't follow it and bring it down. And you have to come, Father. What if it's some hellspawn? Who's going to protect us?
You make a good point, Brother Wilfred. Wilfred.
Let us set off then. Daylight is wasting.
All right.
Indeed. Let me bless this house first, and we can proceed. And I will step off and do a ritual.
A ritual?
Well,
ooh.
Yes, I will do a ritual.
Oh, excellent.
That protects the house.
All right, then roll spirit.
All right.
And this one, I'm not going to give you the difficulty because
Okay.
How could you know if it worked?
I have faith.
Well,
That's
of course it works no matter what.
plus 2, 10.
Okay. Excellent. You feel that God has smiled upon you. Alrighty. So daylight is in fact burning. And Wilford is able to follow the tracks into the wood. Northwood starts to get rather dark and deep fast. It doesn't seem unnaturally quiet. The woods seem to be normal as far as the behavior of the animals, that sort of thing. I'd like you to give me a luck roll, Wilford.
A luck roll.
Yeah.
That's a 5.
I'm sorry?
5.
5.
It's a 5. Okay. Easy, that'd be succeeded a fair task, and this was not fair. Sorry, this was a hard task.
Life isn't fair.
No, it's not. There's a point, despite your skill in tracking, that you realize you've lost the trail for this creature, and it just sort of like in one moment you had it, it's obviously something big was moving, brush, and then it's like it's gone.
By rodents, I mean, Christ's blood. I think it's like it disappeared.
What in?
I can see no further sign. No broken branches like we were seeing back there.
Perhaps you just lost your way, brother.
You must have missed a turn.
I lost my way a long time ago, Father. I've lost cause, but I don't just lose a trail.
You're saying it just disappeared.
Here's the track.
Or perhaps it turned into a fowl and took flight.
That'd be a problem because I do not own a bow.
Oh my goodness, I was being facetious, brother. No such things can exist on this planet.
And still no sign of this creature, no hair, no blood,
No
nothing
feather.
to lead us. No feathers. Who knows what manner of beast this is?
Wonder if it could climb a tree. Trees.
Well, there are several like very old oaks in this forest.
Maybe it set an ambuscade for us up there. Ambuscade, I don't even like. I'm guessing we haven't been invaded by the Normans yet, so I should just say ambush.
So, as he's looking for that, I approach one of the oaks near where the trail was lost, and I sort of lean into it, and I lay my hand on it, and I whispered some strange variation of Latin, and I say, "Corazón de roble, espíritu de árbol, despierta, encuentra tu voz y dime qué viste." So I'm trying to get the spirit of the oak to tell me what he saw.
Excellent. All right. Let's see.
The weirdest pig Latin I have ever heard.
Yes, that's the best you're gonna get from me, man.
That's pretty good. All right. Let's say it's moderate.
It's moderate. There we
Which
go.
is 7.
And I have a 3 on mine.
Oh,
11.
Cool.
Yes.
Excellent. So as you say the words, you're leaning in, trying to awaken the
still
spirit.
prays, Father. I don't know, Jared. He's still praying.
And the bark of the tree after a while starts to move just a little bit and form like it. There was a part like right where you were, almost was sort of like a facsimile of a face if you squint really hard. But this really just kind of comes into focus.
As Jarek's observing this, he closes his eyes and and grabs his cross and just starts praying,
Yeah.
ignoring what's happening.
And
Hey,
the
can you
force
do
and the force
that,
with
Father
yeah.
Jared?
He should not even be able to. This is not good.
It's like so. There's like old man in the wood. Is what do you seek?
Some manner of creature passed this way recently. A large beast, possibly covered in blood from the slaughter it caused. We have lost the track. Where is it? Where did it go?
Oh, the blood spattered one that you seek him. He does not belong here. A creature of the Fae he is, torn from his realm, brought here against his will, I think, perhaps lost. Angry he is.
Where did he go? Did he cross over into the spirit world from here?
Into the spirit world. He continued past me, came from the south, then bore east. I saw him no more after that. He does not belong here. Only ill can come from this.
I
He
thank you
bears your
for
kind great malice.
your words. Rest easy, Oakheart.
And like the face starts to kind of sort of come back in the bark, just kind of goes back to the way it was.
Like the Saints, do you have any idea what kind of creature he was talking about?
Not some sort
By
of
the
fey
saints, by the
creature.
gods, that tree spoke.
There are more things in this world, Father, than you would believe.
Oh,
Well,
I am
you
glad
believe in
I came upon you two. You are in much need.
you believe in burning bushes and not in talking trees?
Oh, Brother Wolford.
Yeah, I know. Confession will be difficult, Father. I'm used
It
to
will be long, that's for sure.
it.
It seems to be a creature of the Fae, so iron, cold iron, will be its bane.
Hmm. So,
And-
uh, Wolford is, like a big, rangy guy rather than bulky, and he wears his hair short like Saxon soldiers do, and he has crappy looking, his clothing's all patchy. He has this chain shirt that's been mended so many times, it's half leather by now. But his shield is stout, and he draws his sword, and you guys can tell it's a Viking sword and very well made. So not like a king's sword, but high quality. This is made of iron. It should hurt
Hopefully,
if you say it's true.
hopefully it will avail us.
Jarek grabs his cross a little tighter, as it is a cross made of iron.
Ooh, nice.
Polished
Excellent.
iron, but iron nonetheless.
All right. Excellent. So what do you do at this point? You spent probably another like hour or so trudging through the woods. At this point, before losing the track, and finally.
Is Wolfherd able to reacquire the track with the
We
information
can
we
look
got?
to the east, yeah.
Right.
Alrighty. Well, let's see. Can you reacquire the track? Let's go with another what do you call it?
That's
Mind roll. But this one's going to be pretty hard.
all right.
So we're going to call this an 11.
Oh, ouch. All right. Let's see. 10 on the die plus 1 mind.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. I was waiting for the critical failure where you guys can't find your way back home. So
If I had put all my points on body, which I was almost did, I wouldn't have gotten it.
so finally, going east, kind of in the direction that the oak mentioned, you travel for probably a good like half mile before all of a sudden you pick up. Like here is like there's sign of something that like if you look behind you wasn't there. Like where did this come from? But then boom, the track is heading, and it seems to head east and then hook south. Can you continue to follow the trail? It pops out, not near the child's farm, but further down, further east in Northwood, not quite to Eastwood, and then it gets harder to follow once it gets into more of like the grassy area. But it seems to be going back towards town.
I think he wants beer. It's going eastbound and down.
Wants beer.
All right. So this is not a good sign. If it is a monster, like you say, those townspeople, by the time any of the guardsmen get down to the town, they could kill a lot of people.
If you butchered those cows,
They have to hurry.
want it loose there. Let us make haste then.
All righty. You're able to get back on a trail, one of the many roads that go into Dredgewater. And you're almost at the village when you hear cries of distress from a young woman. And she's like standing by the road. And as you get closer, you realize she's standing over a body on the road. And the person is wearing robes.
But there's a woman next to him?
Yeah, there's a woman like just screaming in hysterics.
Okay. Let us see if this man is injured.
As you get closer, you can see that it is in fact the local vicar, Father Falcone. And she's screaming her head off, and he's a bit bloody, but he's moving.
Hey, lass, quiet down. What happened?
I don't know. I found her just like this. I was bringing, kindling wood back for the fire, and I saw the father just here, like laying down in a pool of blood. I thought he was dead. He was dead for sure.
I'll rush to his side and start inspecting the body for something and try and talk to him, see if he's coherent.
He's conscious. He's in a lot of pain.
Okay.
You can tell.
Can we identify the source of the pain?
Yeah, he's got what looks like it might be a broken leg.
Mm-hmm.
He's also got some lacerations and some scrapes on him. Not real deep lacerations, but he's definitely banged up quite a bit.
What happened, Father? What has befallen you?
I don't know. I was on my way to pick up some eggs from the Wood of Douglas, and something huge just bowled me right over. It was like getting hit by a runaway ox cart. Could barely see it, but it was enormous.
Wolfhard.
It just tossed me aside like a rag doll.
You could barely see it. In what way, Vicar?
It was huge. At one moment, I saw just a huge black shape, and then it wasn't even there. Oh.
So seeing the pain, I'd like to try and maybe heal a little bit with my spirit.
Okay.
And some prayer.
All right. So you can at least ease his pain.
I
And-
back away while he does that.
All right. Let's see. So, yeah, give me a spirit roll
10.
and 10.
10.
Oh, well, okay. You can see like the peace of God comes across his visage.
Mhm.
He starts to breathe easier. He says, "Thank you, lad. You might have a place in our parish.
Indeed,
Please,
as
I beg you, bring me back there."
Is it getting dark
Okay.
now?
It's starting to get like
Okay.
it's sort of like near the end of the day.
So I stand a little further back so that hopefully they're focused on Father Smith's prayer and healing. And they're
Mhm.
paying less attention to me.
Right.
And I glance up at the rising moon above the horizon. And I touch my eyes like this as I look at the moon. And I say, Hécate, diosa de la luna, revela lo escondido, muéstrame el más allá. And so I am trying to open my second sight and see what is hidden, see the invisible, or see traces of magic, stuff like that. I'm praying to the moon goddess, Hecate, to reveal the unseen.
All right, cool. And we're gonna call that. Tough. Call that a 9.
Tough. It's very tough. It's extremely tough because that is a
Wow.
critical fail.
Okay, what happens? What is he saying? What kind of deviltry is that?
They are lost souls, Vicar. I'm trying.
Lost soul, brother Dunstan. I heard you were a man of cloth at one time. What kind of deviltry is this? This black magic? You're calling this foul creature back to come and finish the job? Is that it? And the young lady, "Oh my God, that wasn't any Latin I learned." Oh,
Whatever struck you may still be around. Your prayers seem not to have helped. Because, of course, I'm not into this whole religion anymore.
I pray to the one true
let's
God. I
lean
pray
into
to the
this.
one true God.
Let's lean into this failure. Yeah.
he means well. I have taken it upon myself to help him find his path again.
Give me one of your give me a luck roll.
Oh fuck.
Hammer me. Father Smith, the unlucky.
Jarek the unlucky. That's correct.
7.
Yes.
7. The
Oh,
total
it's not
7.
bad.
Total 7.
That's not
Okay.
bad.
This is not good enough. He's still pretty ticked off, I'll get my way back to the parish myself. I don't want your help, you devil worshiper.
Listen, we need to do something before that thing hurts anyone else. We have to follow it.
And you pick up its
Fast.
trail.
Help the vicar to his home.
So she's definitely helping the vicar stand back up. Sort of giving you guys kind of like looking at you guys a little cross-eyed now, especially Brother Dunstan.
May you get back safe and well, and Vicar heal soon. Pay no mind to some of the things that your feverish brain may have seen or thought you heard.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it's tough to like really follow any kind of trail now. As you're rather close to the village, you hear a commotion, and several people are gathered around one man at this point, and there's a lot of excited talking. And the sheriff, comes out to see what's going on. And, you can see like many of the village men at this point are all gathered about maybe like a quarter mile away, if that, but quite a bit of talking and hand waving and everything, brought on by a random 3d6 roll.
All right. So we rush over there.
All righty. And in the middle of a group of men, there's going to be like 15 men. This one young fellow who you recognize is Bill Stevens. And he's youngish. He's like probably like 18, 19 years old. So his prime. But he's like, I tell you, I seen it over in Eastwood. It was bigger than anything. Bigger than a barn. All the trees, all the grass matted down, a couple of trees knocked down under a rock overhang. There was awful signs of there was sign, but it's huge. Nothing could have made it past something like that. And I saw bones, human bones, cow bones, human bones. I tell you, whatever's there, it ain't no wolf. It's huge. And it's living right out there in the woods, ready to prey on us and kill us all one by one homestead after another. The sheriff is like, that's ridiculous. Well, you been drinking? No, I haven't been drinking. I tell you, it ain't no wolf. It ain't no wolf. Something that lives over there has got to be huge.
Where did you see this?
Over in Eastwood. I can show you. It's enormous.
And did you see this creature?
I didn't see
Yes.
nothing. It smelled terrible, but I didn't see nothing. No creature, nothing. I got out of there. I'll bring it to close to where it is and point you away, but I'm not going all the way back there.
You
But
said
to
there
my
was
desk.
bone.
If you can't describe it, how can you claim to see it?
I didn't see a creature. I saw where it must live.
Ah,
Nothing lives in something like that.
Is it a cave?
No, it was under a rock overhang. But then everything over there was just knocked down around and tramped. Look, something big has been there a lot. And no bear, and no wolf.
You should point us to this place.
I'll take it there. A couple other, gentlemen are there. It's like, yeah, I'd go, but I've got to protect the family. There's several different men telling you like what they would do if they didn't have other responsibilities. But at the end, it's only you guys following young Bill Stevens, and he leads you out of Dredgewater into the Eastwood, and it's getting dark. And it's finally like it's a full moon, which helps. I'll tell you, it's in there. Just follow this. And you're looking at this path. At this point, it's a little bit easier to see once you're in the woods. I'll tell you, it's about a mile up that way, right where the ledge starts. You go straight, and you see that tree right there. You keep it. Line those two trees up. You can't miss it. But I tell you, go there, you might not come back.
why would we not come back, brother, friend, if we cannot see it?
I know there's something horrible there.
Thank you.
I'm leaving.
I think you've, as advised by the sheriff, may have had one too many to drink, my friend. Please head back to the village, and we will know that God is with you. We will take care of it from here. Thank
You're welcome.
I love
He
it
turns.
because Father Jarek's like Men in Black for the Christian Church.
you. Yes, I'm pretty sure the Catholic Church has no problem with gaslighting
right.
anybody. As a whole, in that time, not making any religious or political statements of any kind.
Right.
Oh, I understand. So, shall we? Right, let's follow this trail.
Indeed.
We need torches to see by.
Well,
Not yet.
Do we need, well, since
got
the
a
full
full
moon,
let us,
right?
let us use the light of the moon for now.
The
bro.
Lord has blessed us with a beautiful evening light from the moon.
We don't want to let this
All right.
monster know we're coming until maybe we can ambush it.
let's
makes
see if the
sense.
light of the moon is going to be enough for you fellows. So who wants to make a luck roll? Let's, you know,
I
Brother
can do it.
Dunstan, you talk to the moon.
Yeah. She's not listening tonight, but hey,
Lunatic.
there you go.
Whoa.
She heard me. She just didn't, it took a
All right.
while for,
All right. Well,
I did ask her to show me what was hidden. So,
what does it say? What does it say about critical successes on like regular
Oh,
Oh,
rolls?
special effect defined by player. So I think, yes, I think the goddess of the moon heard me. And so the light is going to be sufficient to shine, to show us, to allow us not to need torches. And furthermore, I think it's going to illuminate the path toward this creature, right?
yeah, because it shines off the bones of its victims.
Right.
Excellent. Excellent. So yeah, it's just one of those spectacular nights. Air is ridiculously clear. And so it's almost, it's beautiful, the dappled moonlight in the forest
Sorry.
as you're heading towards eventually, maybe you're about 50 yards away or so, and you can start to see what Stevens was talking about. There's a rocky, overhang, but there's a bunch of trees which clearly have been like pushed over, and some of them are like leaning on their sides. And you can see already that the earth is more matted, or any kind of plant life has completely been tramped down. And at one point you pass something, like your feet hit it first, and you kind of see the glint, and it's a jawbone, and it's a human jawbone.
Hmm.
Oh, Lord.
And the bones look like they've been gnawed on.
Little bit.
Do they look like they've been cooked, or was he eating them raw?
It looks. It doesn't look like it's been cooked or anything.
Sounds like it kills cattle for fun, but eats man flesh.
I look around for a branch, like a dead, dry branch of wood, like I would use for a torch, right? Something big, or a club in a, and I grab one of those pieces of woods and carry it with me now.
Gotcha.
And
Good.
So it's not a cave. It's just like an overhang with some trees for added shelter.
Right. Yep.
Over trees for added shelter. And right now we don't see anything in there, or is it too dark for us to?
No, you don't see anything in there.
And it stinks to high heaven, like the kid said.
Yeah.
Gotta find a good.
I take umbrage with that reference.
What? All right, so I mean, my character's probably the same age too, right? So I, we need to find a good place to ambush it when it comes back. It sounds like it may be nocturnal, hunts at night, like many beasts. So maybe when it comes back in the morning, sated, we'll be able to catch it off guard. Maybe we can hide under some branches or leaves. I could by surprise when it comes in.
All right.
So there's a clearing in front of its den, is what we're saying, and its den seems to be empty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Uh, it sounds like a good plan. I'll see if I can add to it. And so, with the aid of the branch, I start scratching into the earth in a wide circle, uh, a large circle on the ground, and carving some mystical symbols along it, hoping that once the creature comes in here, I can activate a magical circle and trap it within the circle,
Excellent. Well, why don't you give me the roll now? Let me know what it is.
and then we'll figure it out later. My mind is 3 in case this is a spell, and 3 plus 7 would be 10, but it's a 7 on the die. You decide.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay.
So I'm not closing the spell until he comes in, right? And then I hope to finish the spell and see if I can lock him inside this.
Okay.
area.
Gotcha. Okay. So it takes you a while to do that, but you feel like, you know, it's looking good. You know, you guys are able to find places you can sort of hide as long as, you know, as long as you're emotionless, you feel like you probably should be okay. About an hour or two go by, and you hear all of a sudden wolf cries. And a wolf like sprints like out of nowhere and just like zips right through that whole clearing. Uh-oh. And Jarek like bolts because there's wolves. So the wolf zips through the clearing, you know, really kind of freaking you out, like, but it's a standard wolf, and it just keeps going. And then, like about 30 seconds later, another one goes, and they're running at like the top, you know, as fast as they possibly can. It runs right past you.
It must be coming, Wolfhard. Be ready to delay it or lure it into the circle. I will close the circle when he is inside. And it should hold just him, supernatural creature of the Fae. Just make sure not to disturb the circle when you exit. It will not hold you.
Bam. So you hear this, like, I mean, you hear and feel this like thud in the earth. And you hear like a cry, sharp cry. And then a wolf sails through the air, whacks right into the rocky outcropping, and then boom, hits the ground and is still.
Yeah.
And another wolf is, well, two things happen at once. Another wolf zips through, you know, zips past you, but you hear more wolf cries, but they're coming from about 20 feet up. And the wolf sounds like it's in terror or pain.
Your feet up?
20 feet up. Up and, you know, maybe to the left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, look in that direction, see what I can see.
It's a beautiful night. The moon is so bright. And you see, you know, you see in one of the trees this shape. It's really hard to look at, you know, and it's got a wolf in one hand, and it's got at least another two hands on the tree and a couple hands waving in the air. And it has this awful mouth that just seems to go on forever, and far too many teeth. And the teeth go far too far back, far back in the mouth. and you see it, and it looks, and it sees you. And the wolf drops, hits the ground with a yelp.
I
The
step
thing
in.
was up in a tree.
Yeah. About 20 feet up. Probably the size of, like, I don't know, 4 men.
I step into the circle in the clearing, right? And I yell at it, "Come, foul beast!" Hoping to lure it into the circle.
But I
And-
think Brother Dunstan has lost his mind.
It saw us, right? So I'm just
It saw you, at
moving
least.
forward. Yeah.
And so it hangs by a couple of these limbs. And too many other limbs are not hanging by the tree. And this mouth opens, this incredibly wide mouth opens. And it just seems obscene for any creature that looks like this to have a voice. But you see it say, man.
Yes, man, foul beast, come face me. And I brandish the
Stick.
club, the stick, menacingly.
And since he's doing that, I'm staying hidden to try to make his sacrifice for the good of the village worth it.
And so the creature just at this point swings from one tree, grabs another, and then catapults itself off of this other tree towards Brother Dunstan. We should probably make a combat roll. And this thing is
Yes.
just, flying through the air.
So I'm gonna try and avoid it, is what I'm gonna do, basically. I guess it's a combat roll. I'm guessing the stick is a poor stick, so it's at -1, right?
Yeah, well, let's see. Is it roll luck?
It's
Nice. I like it.
gonna be that.
Oh, not good.
What is
It's a
my
switch.
point,
It's a poor stick. It's a poor stick. You had a chance for it to be an excellent stick. But it's a poor stick, but you can see really well. All right.
Well, it's a simple fail.
I'm-
It's
I'm
not
just-
critical.
And it's a large.
Just for
it's a-
reference, my plan is as soon as it hits the ground, I'm gonna try and rush it from behind to.
Oh yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no real initiative, so it's like kind of like
Yeah.
you have initiative when you say you do.
Yeah.
I'm just to be transparent. This it's going to be a 10. That's the difficulty value of this creature.
Okay,
Alright.
so I'm taking a wound unless its attack value is. You have to look at the monster stat attack value and if the attack damage, and that
Right.
tells you how many wounds can result from a PC failed roll, and you
That's
have
correct.
the option of using either the first number for simple fail, or you can use the second number because it's the first time somebody fails. So you can use either of those numbers, but you need to tell me, is it 1 wound? Is it 2 wounds? Is it some sort of special effect where
It's 1 wound.
it's 1 wound? Okay.
I'm being magnanimous, unless you critically fail, in which case it's horrible.
Cool.
So you must now roll a combat roll because that was just your luck roll to see how good your stick was.
Oh, wait, hang on.
That was your luck roll to see because that would have affected your combat roll. You know what I mean? So now you roll a d12 and do -1 because it's a poor stick.
Hey, that was a luck roll to see how good your stick was, right?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
luck roll to see how
But
good your
but
stick
I
was.
get injured because of the
No,
No.
Oh,
I just
okay.
want to see how good your stick was. You
Oh,
might have had an
okay.
excellent stick. You
That's
might have
true.
had one hell of a piece of wood that could have
That's true.
really
With
done
12
some
minus 1.
damage.
Now we see.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's 6.
You fail.
Yes. And now
so
I
the,
take
so the,
how
so
much?
the, so the creature slams into you, knocking you, and I need you to make me another rock roll.
hang on. Another luck roll. Okay.
Yeah.
That is a 10.
Out of the circle.
Whoa.
So that was, it's a lot of rolling, but yeah.
And I'm fatigued because I failed, or
Yeah,
do I
you've
take
taken the
damage
first,
or
yeah,
just
yeah, you've taken the
an
first
effect?
wound, yeah. No, just,
Got
yeah,
it.
your first wound.
Got
So
it.
you are now fatigued, I believe, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I grasp for breath, and as soon as I get my bearings, I'm going to start moving toward the circle. See if I can close it.
And to distract it, I'm gonna start hacking at this thing.
I thought you did close the circle.
Well, I rolled the die earlier. I don't know if it
Right.
worked, right? So.
Right. It just did.
Oh, okay.
So this creature is trying to get at you and is stopping at the edge of the circle, and it's enraged. Wilford,
All right.
what were you saying?
So as it's slamming at the circle, maybe I'll get a bonus, but I'm attacking it from behind. All right. I rolled a total of 6 plus 4, 10.
Oh, you just made it.
All right. So it takes a wound.
Okay, so you stabbed it from behind, and the creature howls more in anger than in pain.
Mhm.
You can tell it's like, once again, this creature is absolutely enraged. And Jarek, are you doing anything? Help me out here, man. You can say no.
I think the character right now would still be stuck in prayer for at least
What would
another
you-
round.
What would you be praying
Bless
for?
the knight's sword, priest.
I'm praying over my cross, my iron cross.
All right. That's so good.
And praying for God to bless me with the strength to wield his cross. It is intended to be used.
How big is this cross?
To protect others.
Okay. And so, what kind of effect are you looking for? What's?
I mean, it's more of a preparatory. I mean, if I could give it a little more oomph.
Yeah,
if it were to
it's
hit.
pretty free form here, man.
Yeah.
Are we sanctuary chanting? What are we doing?
What?
The dreaded sanctuary chant. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, just a prayer to strengthen the impact of God's will upon this unholy beast. Going for the game version of maybe an extra impact on a hit
By Wolford or anyone?
Or by
anyone.
Or you?
I'm good.
Okay.
No, by Wolford.
Okay.
Brother
Cool.
Dunstan is clearly lost presently.
Roll the D12, man.
Okay. And that's with my spirit, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, 5.
5. Okay. Maybe it's your proximity to backslidden sorcerers. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's not saying. I'm just thinking about it. I'm
You're
praying.
not, maybe it's because you're so shook up. But anyhow, in the meantime, this thing has been stabbed in the back. It is absolutely enraged and just swings back on Wolford with a couple of its arms, which means you roll again.
Oh,
you do all the rolling. One of us gets hurt. It could be you.
I got an 11 on the die, so if it's a combat check, it's 15.
It's more than 10. That's all you need to know.
More than 10. Okay, so once again, you're able to inflict a wound on this creature. So as it's trying to rend you,
its claws bang off my shield, and I stab murderously under it.
and it is absolutely furious, enraged.
Father, I hope you're praying for me.
You know that I am, Brother Wilford.
Alrighty.
I
Let's see.
start
Go ahead.
to sing at the beast because music can probably confuse the Fae. And so I start singing and pouring my will into the song in an effort to distract the beast and make it less potent against Wolfherd's attack.
Okay, to be consistent with how you've
Yes.
been playing this character, we need you to sing because you said all the magic stuff. so you know,
You did the Latin.
no
you-
singing, no sing, no roll.
I'm
man.
trying
This
to
is not-
remember a song in Spanish that will fit this occasion.
Duérmete, niño, duerme.
Trying to think of a song. Well, it's a monk, so it's probably Gregorian chant, right?
Mhm.
Which I'm not even gonna try and do, but it's probably what he sings. I don't know.
That's
I don't
awesome. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. So, go ahead. Make with the dice. He's got
With
a
the
song
dice.
now. He's got a song now. He knows what he's going to say.
I know one song in Spanish. It doesn't fit like at all.
Go ahead.
But,
Doesn't matter. You could have been saying anything before, you know, that big Latin Spanish, and I you know.
No, I'm not gonna do it. Let's go.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oddly enough, Llorona pops into my head.
Let's see.
So I got a 3. Oh, geez.
Okay, so you failed.
Just makes it
right.
matter, I guess.
Yeah, that's because you didn't want to sing.
Right, that's it. Yeah. If I
Okay,
had
so
sung,
you-
I'd want to get a bonus modifier, right?
So you're trying to sing, you know, to this creature, you know, and to sing the soothing, to soothe the Fae. And the creature just like his head, like just a complete, like does a Linda Blair, just like turns at you while it's engaged with Wolf, and just like yells. It's incredibly loud. Cease and wreck it! And like it, like your eardrums are like imploding, and you're like pushed back, and you take more damage from this. You are now. Wait a minute, what do we call this? You're battered.
I get 2 wounds, right?
What's one wound?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is your second one. You're battered now.
So you're battered.
Yeah,
So,
no,
I mean, literally, you're pushed back, and your ears practically bleed from the
okay.
as this creature of the Fae, you know, just pushes back this magic energy back at you. Is absolutely enraged that you would even dare try to use the song against it.
Yeah. So, Derek's turn.
Ah,
And
But-
there's no turns. Anybody that says something before, you know, does something horrible.
I'm gonna
okay,
keep
so
attacking, of course, but
Okay.
I was gonna say, I think this is the time that Jarek is done praying and is going to come running out with his axe.
Okay, so you're running into the circle. All right, excellent.
Running, well, yes, sure, because the circle is protected. Yes.
Well,
you can't leave the
Ye-
circle. But
yeah.
but if you're
It-
up close to it, it can attack you, right? So
Oh, it can't leave the circle.
yeah.
It's a
Oh,
trap.
okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was a bubble, not a. not a trap.
According to the black magician that you're traveling with, you know, who
Right, but it would be
trucks
easy
with-
for me to see that either something is confined to a circle or is confined to a point or is confined away from a
and-
point.
You know, Brother
it's a big
Dunstan like
circle, right,
drew
yeah.
some crap on the ground you know.
You know, it could. We saw they couldn't get at him when he got to the
Mhm.
line, but I went through and started smacking him.
So I will go opposite of Brother Wolford, and so well, as much as one opposite side as one can get to this
Right.
unholy creature. And try and swing at it with my axe.
Okay, cool. Wilford, you spoke first. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 6 total.
6 total.
Yes.
Okay, grand. This time the thing picks you up, and like it doesn't manage to actually rip you apart, but it's
But I don't
shaking
need.
like a
I
rag
can
doll.
cancel my chiropractor appointment for tomorrow. Is that what you're
Oh
saying?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So-
And it's just shaking around. So it actually has you, which really, not really, mechanically doesn't mean anything, but like it's got shaking
But I'm
and rattling
fatigued now,
around.
right?
Yeah, you're fatigued. And okay, Jarek,
Okay,
make that combat roll
12.
on
Yes.
the
Well,
die.
natural
Yes.
12, 11 with the poor axe, but net 11.
No, but
Natural
natural 12,
Natural 12 is 12, so that's 2
critical
wounds.
hit. Yeah,
Boom.
causes 2
Oh.
wounds. Yeah.
2 wounds. All right, so this thing is, I mean, it's just so concentrated on Wolford that you just managed to strike it one hell of a blow to the back of the head. And you hear now like just absolute howls of pain rather than this rage.
The power of Christ compels you.
And
Be gone, demon.
the thing drops. Wolford is trying to run out of the circle, like away from not towards Dunstan, the other way, and like hits and just screams in fury and starts looking up.
I'll smack it as soon as I can, man. I can't let up on this thing.
All right, and let's see. How am I going to handle this? Because I don't roll for this thing.
Make one of us roll. So whatever it is.
Yeah,
at least.
no. All right, Brother Dunstan, I need you to roll block.
Luck.
What you're rolling for is that there's no part of the outcropping that is close enough that they can leap to it and effectively get out of the circle.
Okay.
And let's see, we're going to call this moderate. We'll call it 7.
7. Okay. I got a +1. Yes.
Oh.
And this creature's looking at it like and it's enraged.
So can I hack it?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I will raise my hand to be in line to continue to hack.
And that's another natural 12.
No way.
Instant karma from getting smacked out by.
All right. So maybe
more
it's
wounds.
because the creature was looking for the escape,
Right.
but you're able to get this thing right through what might be its foul heart. And the
All right.
cold iron
Put my
bites
start
deep into
silence
its
right in between its ribs as it's banging against the thing.
and the screams of like 1,000 curses emanate from the body of this creature. And it finally slumps to the ground and is already starting to turn like black and tarry and starts to smoke.
I cross myself. I think we should keep going to church, Brother Dunstan. You see what he did to it?
Dunstan is bleeding from his ears, right? But he's laughing. He's like,
So and the thing is kind of dissolving percent.
Yeah.
They're not gonna believe us, are they, Father?
What's to believe?
That we found this thing and killed it.
Well, we have the word of a priest in our favor. Maybe they'll take that as proof. But let us wait until the dawn.
Dude.
Make sure this thing is completely gone by the light of day.
Gentlemen, the church does not promote the incitement of extravagant ideas, not
Wait.
because we do not know they do not exist.
Father, are you telling me that I'm gonna have to drag a couple of these dead wolves back and say they did it? Is that what you're telling me?
Brother Wilfred, you are a very intelligent man.
So
God damn it.
the creature dissolves during the night. You're able to grab, reluctantly, a couple of the wolves. The dead wolves that are just battered already, and just maybe make some stab wounds in them to
Mercy
make it
kills.
look better. Bring these things back, make a travois to bring
Yes!
these things back
Yes!
to Dredgewater. And when you come back, the town is in an uproar. And as you get closer and closer, you realize that there's a great disturbance. That people are like really freaked out, and Jim the Miller is just all in the state because the bread, the flour that they were supposed to be able to use to make bread has weevils in it. There's weevils in the flour, and much of the flour has been ruined, which is actually a random roll that happened, which made me very happy. And we can close the curtain.
At least we have some wolf meat here.
Well,
Yeah.
well, we took care of the greater evil. Now we have to deal with the lesser weevil. So
Ah, wow.
I'm sorry, people. All right. Well, that was it. So I had to. That was interesting. So every once in a while,
it was action packed. I like how the combat flows, right? No nonsense.
yeah.
Depends on us doing our job narrating.
When did you get started? So actually, I'll just to reveal it now. The basic idea was that there's a creature, killing stuff, and so the sheriff's going to hire you to look at whatever it is, go find the wolf. And the minor dilemma was just that fingers would start to get pointed. People would start to get at each other's throats. Because I had no idea how long it's going to take you guys to figure this out.
Right.
And so I had our random chart. So at the very beginning, I rolled a random thing, and then the direction was pretty much like when one gets resolved, or if you can't do something with one right now, you can kind of it still happened, but when you kind of I'm paraphrasing. When you feel it starting to flag a little bit, it's like, okay, let me see what else is going on. So my chart was on a 3, and we talked about this before, but the chance of rolling a 3 on the 3, is 0.5%. A 4 is a 4 is less than 1.5. I think a 5 is 3. Et cetera, et cetera. And 10 or 12 is 12.5. Yeah, it's a die pool.
So it's a bell curve, right?
There your basic 3d6. But it's your chances of actually rolling these things. So the ones in the middle are very likely. Whereas the ones on that were more likely. So number 3 was Fey Barrier's rupture, because somebody let this thing out, and so actually one of the townsfolk actually let it out. So Fey Barrier's rupture, meaning all hell breaks loose. Oh my god. 4 was Vampire Awakens. I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? But I heard, okay. 5 was Wolves, which I actually rolled while you guys were waiting for this thing. So okay, what am I gonna do with wolves? 6 was Lightning Strikes the Church of the One. No. 8 was Riot. 7 was Thatcher Child Missing, Stolen by the Fae.
Nice.
Becky Thatcher. 8 was a riot on Lord Washburn. It makes sense. That's getting more probable. That do something, Lord Washburn. 9 is Father Falcone Savaged, which actually happened while you're there. Talking to these people. That's at the farmstead. That's what happens. So okay, how? I mean, again, how? And you may or may not have found that out, depending on where you guys went. or you're heading towards town, like, okay, that's a good time to put that in. 10 is the widow is abducted. The widow that people think did it. 11 is bandit strike. So these are really, possible things.
Mhm.
12, Cole Palmer dead. And he was the fellow that's pointing fingers at everybody.
Mhm.
13 was William Stevens discovers the lair, which happened.
Whoa.
Mhm.
14 was Weevils in the Flower. Which
That-
I actually roll. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. 15 is the one I rolled to start it off, slaughtered cattle.
Mm.
Interesting.
16 was Childers Homestead Burns. Like, it could have started out with somebody's, house burn. 17 was Mort Attacks. So maybe,
That's the other
yeah,
the older man who is contesting the
right,
territory with Lord
Right.
Washburn.
right. And 18 was Northman Land. Like, there might be Vikings all of a sudden,
Nice.
But very, I mean, the things on the ends are very, very, very unlikely, but they could happen. Like, actually, Wolves was chance of getting wolves in this whole thing was like less than 3%. So they're wolves. And I figured, because you don't know what's going to happen with these things. I figured wolves might be a red herring. Like, wolves show up and but I figured this one, what am I going to do with wolves when you're there? I'm like, okay.
That
Have
was
them
pretty
running-
cool.
running
That was
from the
pretty
creature.
cool because it's a different, yeah.
So
It's an unexpected twist on that. Yeah.
right. It was a bit tough to figure. Well, no, not tough, but like there are moments like, okay, when do I have them roll, and like what kind of difficulty do I set for stuff? A lot of stuff was
Right. The most difficult part in any kind of game, I think, that you're inexperienced with is calibrating the challenge.
Mhm.
right.
Right. Because there's words there like easy, fair, average, and yeah, and technically I guess that's fine. But you sort of had to figure it out by yourself, I think.
Right. Well,
Uh,
this helped. I mean, doing the little any dice chart thing with the how often are you going to roll a 7 or greater, or a 7 or less? So how frequent? So like if I give you a 7, well, that's 50% chance.
Mhm.
So that's, I mean, a lot of things I said, okay, it's 50-50. 50-50 that this creature's going to be able to find, purchase based on your luck and be able
And-
to jump out of the thing.
And this is precisely why I like games that have some sort of bestiary, because it gives you benchmarks, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so a goblin is this bad, and a wolf is that bad, and a troll is that bad. And so you kind of
Right.
have some idea of where to go, right? And a normal human bandit is this.
Yeah, this creature was it's not the best area, but I stole the stats.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
DV10, so it was
It's
pretty tough.
it's a
Yeah.
bog hag / swamp beast.
Awesome.
DV10,
Yeah.
health 6.
Yeah.
Attack damage is 1 and or drown, and so we're not in the bog. Because
okay.
if
Oh.
it's a critical fail
Right.
is 3 wounds.
Yes.
So I figured if you critical fail this thing is going to give you 3 wounds, because of through fey magic or whatever. Because
Right.
so nobody critically failed, which is good.
I did. I did a critical fail,
Well,
which is what at one point I told you, it's 2 wounds, and you said no, it's 1, and I'm like, I critically failed. It should be 2, but if
Was
it's
it a- was it
3, then
well,
I
no,
would
you
have been a dying. Yeah.
Yeah, but you I don't think it was a critical failure. You failed to do the magic
Yeah,
roll,
you-
but it wasn't a critical. You
I didn't roll a 1.
No, you rolled like a 3 or something.
No, you
Well,
rolled.
trust
You rolled
me.
a 2.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You had a 2.
yeah. Trust me, if you rolled a 1, it would have sucked.
Oh, okay.
But that was one of the things we talked about before. Is like, well, how do we handle magic? Like, if you fail, because I mean, you need to roll a 10 to affect the creature.
Right.
Interestingly, which was one of those things you can't like really figure out beforehand. Is like you made like a magic circle.
And it was good.
And
I
when
think
you
I
rolled a
rolled like
10.
an 11. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
10 or 11, I was like,
11
oh,
total or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, well, no kidding. I guess the creature will be trapped.
No, 7 plus 3, 10. Yes,
You're right,
exactly
yeah,
on the
exactly
dot.
a
So
10,
it,
yeah.
it does
Lucky,
affect.
lucky number 7.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I should tell you yet what the difficulty value of the creature was, because that's one of those things we're gonna have to wait, and see like
Right.
when it shows up, if it gets in there. And then I'm not sure what I would have done if you had failed that. I think it might have just knew that you tried to trap it and might
Maybe
have
avoided it. Yeah.
yeah, may avoided it, or maybe sought you out, and maybe you would have had to be engaged in combat with it at a like with some kind of disadvantage. I don't know if I automatically would have hurt you, but it would have been like, oh yeah, I know it was you. But
Yeah.
that didn't happen.
I know what you tried to do with me, little
step in the circle, the
Right.
defense flares, right, and then sort of breaks it, right, and so there's like psychic backlash or something. You could have done that as well if you had wanted it. Yeah,
It was interesting too, like when Jarek like failed to bless or whatever, then it wasn't trying to affect a creature. If he was trying to do something to, cause God's wrath upon, or whatever you want to express it, because it's freeform, then that would have hurt. Like if he would have taken a wound, but as somehow. But you didn't. You tried to, all I could think of is sanctuary chant. Back to good old first edition D&D. Protect myself and not just chant. Give everybody a.
I'm
It's
surprised.
before your time, Jarek. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The initiative worked out well. I was surprised. I think part of it is the different professions, because had we all been fighters, I think we would have naturally devolved into, well, I went and Jose went. Let's wait for Jim.
Right.
If
Yeah.
we had all been fighters, right? I think it
Yeah.
would have been like, it's like, I just attacked. Let me wait for Jim, right? Or let me wait for Jose.
Yeah.
But because I was playing the spellcaster and I was getting beaten around, and it's like, I can't just say, well, you fall back. Well, I get back up, and it does.
Right.
It's like, no, come on, it takes a
Well,
minute.
I mean, like if you got into actual combat with that creature, you would have had a 16.67 chance of hurting it rather than being hurt. Which is to say,
That's not a lot.
you had like an 83% chance, of being hurt every single round if you were involved in combat with it.
But
Whether
that's
it
why.
attacked you or you attacked it.
But that's why I'm playing the wizard.
Right. So you're
but
not.
my combat role is my magic role, right? I could have
Right,
lobbed
right.
like fireballs at it or something.
Right. Oh yeah,
Right.
exactly. But I mean, based on your combat ability, Jarek, on the other hand, like, were you +1? So
Yeah,
you
but
would have.
Yeah, hang on. In that would have been like combat with a dagger, right? I think the game is meant
Right.
to be spiritual combat or mind combat or
Right.
different types of
I
combat.
meant, had you
right?
been foolish enough
Oh, okay.
to, it's like, I'll help
Yeah.
you. Yeah. You got yourself out of the circle and you're done. I'm staying on this side. And then Jarek, on the other hand, like, he's, +1 the East. Like, I think it's like you got what, 2 and 6 chance. You got a 1/3, 1/3 of the time Jarek's going to hurt it. 2/3 of the time it's going to hurt him, based on the difficulty of this particular creature. And in the
Don't ever
meantime,
tell me the odds.
yeah. But in the meantime, like, Wolf Rider, Torsten Wolfhelm, Wolford, Wolf.
Wolfram Alpha.
Which is oddly enough is my brother's name. Is Wolf. So that means you would, Jose would only have to roll a 6 all the time, because he got a +4, based on his body and everything else it is.
Mhm.
So that means 58.33% of the time, a little less than 60% of the time, you win. 40% of the time, it wins. So you have the best chance. It's still not awesome, but like he did.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
not
I
a
think it's
gimme.
6 health. So it's
Yeah, we got 2 crits on it, which was really lucky.
right. Yeah, that definitely helped a lot.
Yes.
Two of you guys credit
Sped it
credit
up
for
a
this.
lot. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think it was interesting. Again, I had to think of how to attack it, because I didn't want to just go, fireball,
Right.
fireball, 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 right? So I tried to make it
Right.
a little bit more interesting. And so there's the minute that you're trying to do that versus Jose says, I attack. And it makes perfect sense, right? He just swings a sword while the other guy is trying to cast a spell. So it sort of simulates it
Right.
in an interesting way, right? Because of the real-time constraints of having to improvise everything, right?
Right.
Which I thought was cool. Same with Jim, right? He's like, he could have said it from the outset, I do this immediately, right? But then it's like, no, this feels like it takes a minute, right? To get the prayer and the thing and the,
Mhm.
So I think that's interesting. It sort of works with the combat system.
I agree. And I'm not gonna lie, character creation, that's like just getting up and spinning like that was quick. I definitely
Well,
had
considering
a-
like 15 minutes before the game, you're like, I think I'll make a priest, guys. Okay, maybe it was a couple hours. But I got the other guy's characters like a while ago. Like I think
Well, and
oh, you made
I
this a
had
couple
been
days
thinking
ago.
about it. I just didn't
Okay,
bring
yeah,
it up to the group.
I'm just
and I was
messing with you,
just
man.
putting it on paper. But yes, you're not
Yeah.
entirely wrong, because like some of the stuff I had not put
Right.
the thought into. Obviously the whole background of the priest.
But that's kind of the thing working as intended. That's the idea,
Yeah.
that you pick up a sheet and you put down 3 numbers and let's rock, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. It was I definitely made my random chart make sense. Like some of the
Mhm.
ones presented in the books are a little bit more all over the place, which is cool too. But like, you know, I still did not know what was going to happen by any means. But I wanted to pick things that I would, you know, it wouldn't be too hard to figure out. Like, well, you know, this
I
gave me
absolutely
more.
love-
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
random tables.
yeah, me too. This
I
gave me
really
like,
do.
And this is another thing, right? If you make a bunch of these, right, and share them around, right? If you get a couple of dungeon master or a couple of presenters, and everybody makes like a sheet, and you just save it, right, and pass it around, and
right.
you know, again, it increases the low prep factor, because it's like 5 minutes before a game. It's like, all right, and you just pull out a sheet and roll a couple of things and kick it off, right? You don't even have to do the chart if you gather enough of these sheets, right?
Right.
Yeah.
This one I did is not as cool as the one that Tim Harper put in the book, you know, Samurai 7. That's a pretty cool one. I almost used that one, but I'm like, you know what, I had this in my head, so I'm like, let me use this. But he has a really cool one. But yeah, everything here, like I think the really weird ones, like, you know, Northman Land or Mort Attacks or the Fey Barriers go wonky or Vampire, all those things combined maybe had like a less than a 5% chance of happening. Here, I'll put those, but like most of the other stuff was based on like people pointing the fingers at each other. You know, if the widow's abducted, that means people have taken her and like are ready to string her up. Like you, which she did. She was the one that summoned it. You know, guy Cole Palmer was the guy that's like absolutely after. So him being found dead is like one of those things. Like, well, what happened? You know, or but a lot of the other things I put on there was like things that things that the creature might have done, like actually would have done.
Mhm.
And there's some things that it probably didn't do, but people were just, you know, could have added to that paranoia.
Right. Yeah.
Or
could have
be
accused it of it.
misdirecting, like lightning strikes the Church of the One. Well, what's that about?
Right.
Right.
know.
Is that a
Or if the children's homestead burns.
Yeah.
That's
I
about
thi-
Brother Dunstan's in Devil stuff. That's,
Yeah, I think
that's
I
about.
think the children's homestead burns was like supposed to be like another thing. With that, it's not going to happen very often, but it's red herring. Like
Mhm.
in my head, it's like, well, the creature didn't do that, but you know, although I suppose I could have, you know, you're supposed to have them be very open ended too. So I suppose I could have had it mean that, but you know, it seemed pretty obvious, like when I should roll again.
Yep.
You know, I think the only thing that didn't happen sequentially was I rolled Weevils in the Flower, and I'm like, I can't do anything else right now. We'll definitely have to,
we'll
you know,
save it,
and
yeah.
then I think Wolves is the last thing I rolled, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, am I gonna have this thing show up back in the circle like with a barrel of flour? Weevils. Like that. No, that's not gonna be very interesting. So I'm like, okay,
I don't think it would have done anything with flour. So I
yeah,
think,
yeah, exactly. It didn't make any sense. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that back at the village at the end. You know, if you guys make it back, there'll be a much bigger problem.
Jason is asking if we earned repute.
Did you
Ah.
earn repute? Well, let's talk about this. Did you earn repute? Well, here that's kind of interesting because I mean, you earn repute. You definitely are able to say you've killed the creature. Brother Dunstan, man, almost gets caught.
Right, I'm probably
By
wash,
criticals.
right? Probably +1 -1 is probably a 0, right?
Yeah, let's double check here. I think repute is I think it's just 1 point, but let me just double check.
Yeah, I believe it's one.
It should be because it's what increases your stats, right? So you don't
Right.
want to go super crazy with that.
Recall.
Right. Because I'm guessing
Sing it.
I'm inclined to say that everybody except Brother Dunstan is repute because he's gonna do serious damage control for pretty much like
That's fine.
trying
That's fine.
to talk to the moon in front of the priest.
Right. But then so he
Right.
gets a claim for having killed the thing, but at the same time the priest is campaigning against him, so it probably washes out. Yeah.
Although I did neglect to ask to have you guys explain how your characters have earned the current 3 repute. So we have
Oh,
to
I know why. I was ready.
Yeah. Oh, really? Why is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, basically, Wolford, again, he's from Northich, and
Right.
the king of Northich is a major a-hole, right? His father was one of the men at arms, and he grew up there, and there was a Dane invasion, and Wolford got to fight in the shield wall, right?
Mhm.
He was a
Shield wall.
it was his first battle in a shield wall, and he survived, and that's where he got his sword from one of the dead Danes.
Right.
However, again, the king Osber, I think, is an a-hole, and he taxes the heck out of everything, and that's why he left in disgust because they were most of their spoils were taken from them. So you were doing your duty to Northage. You don't need a horse. You don't need better mail. You just need to do your duty. And he said, screw this. I'm leaving. So I figured he got his 3 repute because he survived a big battle with Danes.
Right.
That's interesting. I don't even remember that part about repute, but then again, I sort of
It's near the very beginning. It's like one thing, just like before the start, the players should,
okay.
because I think we're supposed to kind of come in not knowing a hell of a lot about each other. Period.
Oh, explain. There you go, right there. Oh,
Right.
I missed that. That's right. Well,
yeah, no, I missed that as well.
In my case, mine 3, he is a scholar, right? So he was probably just a bright guy. It also kind of explains it's his connection to magic. So as I said, he has transcribed and maybe illuminated texts, right, that are forbidden. One of his items, I put a book of forbidden lore, right? And so I think that's how he learned the magic, right? And so spirit at -1 is his loss of faith because they the sea people killed his monastery, right, and killed everybody else, and he's having a crisis of faith because why would God let this happen, right? And so that's the origin combined with the magic. Then he just turns away from faith and goes into magic, and that's why spirit is at -1. And luck, I guess he is lucky, right? He wasn't at the abbey when it got destroyed, so
he hasn't been burned at the stake.
Yeah.
He hasn't been burned at the stake. That's another one. Yeah.
speaking of lucky, how about Jarek Smith? How did Jarek earn the repute that he had prior to this adventure?
So prior to this, Spirit, obviously through the teachings of the church and all that. The luck is how he ended up with the church, being that his original intent in life, his original purpose was to be a blacksmith, as is the family name. But he was a bit clumsy as a kid, as an apprentice to his father, and a wrong strike sent a hot iron into their homestead and burned their house down. And
hence the name.
That, in an effort to impress his father, did it while everyone was asleep. And the only place he could turn was the church. And within the church, his studies attribute to his other mind, or his mind, and then the I guess I've got because I've got the 4 positive, but because I've got the 1 negative.
Well, yeah.
Back.
Yes, yeah.
Just in manual labor and all that.
All right. So I mean, for this session, you've earned repute, Jarek Smith, because of your connection with God as you helped mend the pain, and your ministrations to the Father Falcone, witnessed by this young lady, and of course, Wolf, bringing back the wolves which had terrorized this village. And Brother Dunstan, you don't earn repute, even though you did some great things and helped and you were involved with this. But the thing is, I'm going to say that point of repute that you would have gotten is being used to prevent you from being burnt at the stake.
Yes, that's always good.
Because you don't critically fail, in front of just everybody.
In front of the
you
priest,
critically
yeah.
fail in front of the freaking priest.
The Vicar, right?
Yeah.
It's bad. What are you doing, man? He's talking to the moon. It's black magic.
The vicar. That reminds me of the episode of Friends. It's the vicar. You know what a vicar is, right, Joey? Yeah, he's like a goalie, right?
Exactly. Oh man. Right in front of the priest, casting black. That's no honest Latin.
It was awesome.
All right, guys.
I loved the tree. That was awesome.
That was really
plants. Cool. The speak with plants spell was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the beauty of improvised magic. Right?
But
yeah, it was interesting. Like, just about everything you did was all like kind of like divination type stuff, or for the most part, it was cool. And I hesitate to even kind of like categorize it. It was really cool for you just to kind of use it in a utilitarian way, and what do I need to do right now?
It went well because it's like talking to the spirits of the wood and this and that. It goes well with the setting, with the kind of fey magic that the setting kind of like calls for.
And that's why it took me like about a week to come up with a character, right? Because I was like, how do I approach this, right? What kind of magic does he have? Because the lack of rules, magic is best approached with some guidance. It doesn't have to be much, but a little bit of guidance to sort of tie it together, right? So I kept insisting on, do you find any hair? Do you find any claws? Because I wanted to track the beast.
Right.
I wanted to cast a tracking spell, but I'm like, I'd probably need like nail clippings, right? Or fur or something like that,
or
right?
Snot or something.
Something, yeah. But
yeah, this. I use a lot of luck rolls in this, and it was specifically because this creature, I just figured it's so magical.
Yeah.
Right. That normal tracking is going to be a little bit tough. And it's going to take the trees too, and so it's going to be something that's going to be so out of your wheelhouse in terms of like tracking.
Right.
Like, yeah, you're not you're not used to tracking apes or anything else that does that, So it's like, where does this thing go?
That makes perfect sense.
It was here 1 minute, now it's not, And so I figured, okay, well, so it's a certain point. I figured, it's going to be luck if he keeps this trail or if he finds it again. So I was surprised by how many luck rolls we ended up doing here. But sometimes it was just like, it seemed like the most appropriate thing. And I felt so bad, man, Jarek, try to, I think a couple of times you tried to do some kind of influence roll or whatever, prestige roll. And
just didn't
work. It's not like you have a bad score. Yeah. But I figured sometimes I just had to set actually the difficulty for the farmer initially to like talk to his wife again was not high. He just didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then the second time, it was kind of tough. It's like, dude, your friend just talked to the moon.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I think I recognize a couple of those words. But it's interesting too in this setting too. It's kind of like it's early Christianity plus a whole bunch of other like pagan belief systems. But I just figured because I talked to Eli beforehand when he was talking about making a wizard. It's like, okay, but yet black magic magic is just going to be seen by everybody as like, what the heck is that? And the
Right.
chances of getting burned at the stake or whatever are going to be pretty high. Because if it's the Christians, are going to burn you at the stake, and if it's the people that believe in the Fae, it's like, well, you've got truckload goblins and sprites, and the weevils and the flowers, it's your fault. So I'm like, okay, so either way, so that was pretty neat to actually. So I'm glad you played a wizard, man. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
That's
fun.
cool.
I agree.
Did a good job.
All right, man. Well, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for running this, Simon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you, Jason
you,
and Del,
Simon.
for providing us with this game to try out. That was pretty cool.
Yes, they.
I'm pretty sure
they
I
said they
killed Von
watched-
Mort.
They watched along with
You
us
can what?
and recorded reactions.
Actually, when we were playtesting this game, and it was different at that time. This is years ago. I think the video is still on my channel. There's a video called "Von Mort Must Die," and Jason runs it. We killed him, which I think
Nice.
became like what was Budamont Mort or whatever his name is now. We killed him. Well, I think we were like at that point we'd killed him and we're trying to escape from his place because like at this point all the guards are like, he's dead. We're like, oh crap. But
Nice.
So I killed that bastard. Just want you to let you know. All right.
Good.
And yeah, it seems like we talked before, like before we end, like it seems like this game is really suited for like episodic play because it's like, it's not like it's going to be a campaign as such, but like,
I
I
could see it being an episodic campaign where you do
Right.
improve, your character improves, but there's no
Right.
need to have some underlying
Through line.
storyline
Yeah.
that
right. Because the very next thing is going to be
connects one
another.
episode to the next.
It seems like it's going to be a lot more like,
For another one, I'm in. I loved it. I had a blast.
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll see if I
It
come
was
up with
pretty
another. Yeah, I'll
cool.
come up with another. Yeah, I'd be actually interested to see how the villagers are like, interact with you guys now, especially Brother Dunson. But yeah, but like that's the thing. It's like I have to come up with like another like, okay, what's the situation now? And
Right.
so it's a little bit like what do you call it? Yeah, it's like Kung Fu or Star, the original series Star Trek or something like that. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, I've been rereading Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, and I was
Right.
telling Jose, and I just love that the short story format is what seems to be the key here. Because I've read the Conan novels and the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser novels, and those are good, but the short stories are fire. They're awesome.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for episodic play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although I think I'll have to look. I mean, not to ruin anything. I think I might if we do it something a little bit more human based, just because one of the things we did not get a chance to do is like have you guys fight people or fight mobs.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting. So
Hey.
I mean, I was hoping the bandits would show up, and so you guys could
Well, it was a
Mob
good
combat.
fight, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's good.
you just want to kill more people. I understand.
Of
Yeah.
course. What are you talking about, man? Of course.
What do you think I'm here for? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Anybody to watch? Thanks a lot, guys, for the game, and we will talk to you guys later.
Thank you, guys.
Stop the
Bye.
broadcast. Stop the